Hey everybody, it's your girl Sherry. Welcome back to another episode of Alleged Actually Podcast. Y'all, today is Bravo Monday. So we are going to be doing the recap today of the finale of Real Housewives of Orange County. I know Mondays typically for the past couple have been Real Housewives of Potomac, but since we had a finale night for Orange County, I'm using Bravo Monday to talk about the finale. We will do Potomac later this week, so stay tuned for that. I just wanted to, get on, talk about the finale episode a little bit and let you guys know what's going on. Later this week, we're going to, of course, do the reunion special part 1 because that's going to air on Thursday night. So, honey, you guys have got to be there for sure. Now, before we get into the recap, I'm going to ask you to do me a big favor. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Comment, let me know what you thought about the finale episode, what you thought about the season in general, and go ahead if you haven't yet and hit that subscribe button. You guys, we are 5.3K strong. The Actualizer family is growing. So keep sharing also, please. Keep sharing and like I said, keep liking this content so that YouTube can keep pushing out our episodes in the algorithm. Y'all, we're trying to get to our next goal of 6,000 subscribers, and I know we're going to do it because you guys never let me down. So I just want to ask you guys, what did you think about the season as a whole? It came out really strong, really hot. The storyline, of course, we know poor Shannon Bedore has endured a whole season 18 of backlash and torment from one said former friend, Tamra Judge. And then for them to bring Alexis Bellino back as John Jansen's new woman and her nemesis. I can't lie and say it hasn't been entertaining, y'all, because it has. And then we got to see new housewife emerge as one of the fan favorites as well, Jen Penranti. She, y'all, came through a couple of episodes ago and just gave Tamra what she's been deserving all season. She got it done, honey. She did what Shannon just couldn't seem to do or do as effectively. Jen put Tamra right in her place. There were lots of moments in this season I thought were really good. Of course, that was my favorite. The emergence of Jen when she found her voice. Because, honey, listen, Tamra didn't want that smoke, and it was good to me. But overall, I think a few things kind of just fell a little flat. There's mixed thoughts on the finale. I thought we could have went out with more of a bang. Just like all season, we've been seeing the thing with Heather and Katie. That just seemed to kind of end on this just very flat note, kind of a silly feud anyway, but we were looking for that big confrontation, the big showdown. We just didn't get it, y'all. I don't know. Overall, I'm going to give Orange County a whopping 8 out of 10. It was a good season. I truly enjoyed it. We're going to get into the finale, and I cannot wait for the reunion. Now, guys, I have an exciting announcement to make. On the reunion recaps, I will be joined by one of my Bravo besties, Mr. Joseph Sirigliano. He will be on, and he will be helping me recap the reunion. All parts, honey. We're going to get down to the T. Joseph is a Bravo fan, just like myself and all of you, and he knows his housewives, honey. So we're going to have us some good banter, and we're going to recap the reunion together. So you will get to meet him. We will be dropping that on Friday. So you guys have got to come back. You're going to be in for a treat. So other than that, y'all, we have this week also coming up the recap on 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way with myself and Big Nige. We have Thursday dropping the final part of the Design Your Wealth Mindset series, the financial series that I have been doing for the past few months. And I've been getting some great feedback. So you guys, if you haven't watched the other 4 episodes, they're in a playlist. You can just go start with the Design Your Wealth Mindset and do one and just let them keep going. It's a group of ladies, 5 ladies that have written the book, and they have so many wonderful tips. It is geared toward us women, but there's something in there for everybody. So men, you could learn something too. So it's a wonderful book. They are all licensed financial professionals. They actually work with clients to get them to reach their financial goals. So not only is it a good read, but they are also available to help you in real life and in real time. So not only go and watch the interviews, but I would encourage you to get the book, and then once you get the book, the workbook, reach out to one of the ladies and let them help you reach your financial goals. All right, guys, I've done enough blabbering, but now we need to get down to why we're here. Let's get down now to the recap. So, y'all, the episode opens with Emily and Gina arriving at Whoop Axe, which I thought is such a clever name. So it's an axe throwing place. And Emily asked Gina if Shannon's going to join them, and Gina says yes. And Emily says, well, with Shannon leaving on a separate flight from England, she felt so badly. Child, I couldn't tell the way that she was laughing hysterically when Tamara brought that cake in. Y'all, now I know I skipped that week, but I saw the episode, and it left off where Shannon was supposed to be her birthday when they all were going to have this such classy dinner where everybody was going to be on their best behavior. And that is when Shannon and Tamara got into it because of the incident with Jennifer, with Shannon revealing the text where Tamara had done some digging in Ryan's background, and she confronted Tamara. And then in retaliation, Tamara lets Gina know that Shannon had dug up some information on her and Matt that she was going to maybe let come out on the reunion last season. Something about where Gina had attempted to push Matt down the stairs. Some rumor that apparently came from the ex-wife of Matt. And it was just messy, y'all. It was messy, and it blew up. Shannon and Tamara just went at it. Finally, Shannon had her limit. Y'all, I don't see how she lasted as long as she did. Her birthday trip was absolutely ruined thanks to Tamara and Heather. Y'all, Heather showed her true colors. I'm assuming, y'all, she came out also aligning with Tamara, and they single-handedly ruined Shannon's birthday trip to London. As a result, Shannon had left the group early, broke the fourth wall, grabbed her a flight, and left and went back home, leaving London, leaving the other ladies behind. So Emily is like, I felt badly, but again, if you felt so bad, Emily, why were you laughing so hysterically when Shannon got up and left? No one. Y'all, this group of ladies, I swear, with them, you literally don't need enemies, because you can pick somebody in the friend group at any given time and choose your enemy. Any of them at any given time. So anyway, after that, Gina said that she felt like her and the Tamara going back and forth was just too much. And they flashed back to Gina telling Shannon, Tamara brought up how she was trying to dig up that information, like I told you, and the whole pushing Matt down the stairs, whatever. And in confessional, Gina says Tamara and Shannon are both at fault. The thing is, Shannon's working on herself, and she says she doesn't know if she can say the same for Tamara. I concur. I say no, she's not. So at this point, Jen walks in and greets them. She hugs Gina, and she shows Gina her huge rock. She is now, y'all, officially engaged to Ryan. He had proposed to her while they were in the Bahamas. Since we were talking about them going to the Bahamas all the time, we know that they had a trip scheduled after they got back from London. So when they were in the Bahamas, Ryan officially asked Jen for her hand in marriage, and she graciously accepted. At this point, Shannon walks in and she does her quirky little, who's ready for some whoopbacks? Child, I can't. Okay, let me talk about this real quick. Shannon has emerged as a fan favorite. How could she not? We all have felt horrible just watching what she's had to endure this season with Tamra just, I mean, obliterating the poor woman. And then, like I said, the last few episodes, Heather jumping on the bandwagon. So, though y'all, fully transparent moment, Shannon wasn't always one of my faves. Matter of fact, she really wasn't. But how could you not feel for her? And how could you not be pulling for her this season with all that she went through? And so her little quirkiness, her antics, sometimes they seem a little forced. They seem a little goofy, but that's what she's going for. And, does it seem a little forced sometimes? Yeah, it does. Nonetheless, Emily says that she's glad she didn't have an axe in London. I'm kind of wishing she did, y'all. Jen then shows Shannon her engagement ring. Yeah, did y'all peep how Shannon was just coming right through on that rock and just rubbing it and oh so gently caressing her rock? I said, no, ma'am, Shannon. Okay. I mean, I feel it, who doesn't love a good diamond, but ma'am, let's don't get all the smudges on the rock. Really? Anyone? Anyway, so Shannon says, you know what, Jen, everybody's happy for, or these ladies are happy for. And she says, everybody was talking down to you, Jen, saying it wasn't going to work, but you guys have proved everyone wrong. And Emily says, I'm coming around with Ryan. And, I feel like everyone deserves a second chance to make better choices and be better people. You're coming around, Emily? Well, we soon find that doesn't last long. In confessional, she says, I do think Ryan treats Jen well, but she thinks there are some red flags. Gina in confessional says she was so happy for her and she hopes it genuinely works out. But instead of a ring like that, couldn't he just have given her the rent? Okay, Gina. It was the finale. Enough already. Okay. Let it go. We know she didn't pay her rent. She got evicted. We get it. So every monetary thing that Jen gets, you're going to circle it back to her not paying that daggone rent. Okay. So Jen tells him now about the tacky bridesmaid party that Alexis and Katie are going to throw for her. And she tells him she's surprised, or that she's supposed to meet with Tamara. And Tamara wants to meet with her because she says that she's got proof that's going to turn her against Shannon. And Shannon's just looking like, here we go again. But she tells the girls that she wants to send a text to Tamara saying, look, I know we're supposed to get together and all, but she's just not there yet. And she said the party is a big deal for her. And she hopes Tamara will still be there because she hopes in the future that they can move forward, but she's just not ready yet. Fair, honey. Quite fair, Jen. Emily says, but do you feel if you don't talk to her before your party, she's going to corner you at the party? And then you'll end up having to talk to her there. Yeah, and that was the dumbest thing when Shannon's like, oh, she wouldn't do that. And Shannon, you of all people know that she absolutely would do that. But, okay. So now, y'all, we're back over at Tamara's, and Alexis, with her stupid self, shows up at the door with some dumb Clorox wipes and says that was because she wants to clean up the ish that they have to talk about. Y'all, bye, Alexis, bye. Bye. I'm going to skirt right on through the scene because I just didn't even want to look at it and see it. Basically, she's over there to stir some stupidity up and look dumb because she was on the trip. And Tamara just, Alexis tells her she's having a party that for Jen and moving forward. I can't. I simply cannot. So then, yeah, we're just going to skip over that. After that, skipping the Alexis Tamara scene because I refuse. We are over now at the scene where they all are kind of having a moment with their kids. We see Jen and her son. We find out that he has made a decision to join the Marine Corps, which is, I think, great. My husband is a retired Marine. I'm a very proud Marine wife. She's proud of him. Apparently, school is not his thing, but he goes from feeling like, he didn't have his privacy and all of that to now feeling like it's time for him to step out and be a man, and he's going to join the Marine Corps. And she actually was on Watch What Happens Live on Thursday night and says that he absolutely is going to the Marine Corps, and she's very proud of him. I think that is great. Congrats to you, Jen. Then we go over to Heather and her son. He's in college, which he's not absolutely in love with, but he does admit he's having fun. He's got his real estate license, and he's getting ready to go abroad. And, she tells him that, you know, regardless, at least, at this point, he's getting some life skills. And she does say something that I completely concur and agree with, that when you raise your kids, all that you can hope to be as they grow up to be healthy, independent, functioning humans. And I concur. As a mom of 3 adult children ranging from age 28 to 24, I concur. All that you do, your hope is that they will take the things that you've instilled in them and go on and go be great. And so those scenes kind of had me in the feels a little bit. Tamara and her daughter Sophia, poor baby, she is into music, and so she lets her mother know that she would perhaps want to pursue it. Tamara is encouraging that and lets us know that once upon a time she wanted to go to the Fashion Institute. Y'all, them flashback pictures. Now look, I was born in 73, so I was around in that era, the big hair and but Tamara looked a hot mess, child. Fashion Institute, she did not get to go to because she had a child, and so she had to work and take care of her son, Brian. So there's that. And then we go over to Katie with Kylie, and she says watching Kylie grow into a beautiful woman has made her, think about her birth mom, and she wants her to know that she knows that it was a tough decision for her to give her up for adoption, and she just wants, a chance to talk to her and let her know, she's not mad about it. She realizes by watching her daughter grow the sacrifice that her mother made in letting her go. So there's that. We then go over to Gina and Travis. They are still living apart, y'all. And this scene, I'm not going to hold you, wasn't a whole lot, but more of the same. Other than we find out that Travis is not happy about them living apart, and that he wants Gina to reconsider the fact that when things get tough, she tends to run. Gina maintains that with how things have been with his ex-wife, that was the best decision she felt like she had to make for her and her children. I guess now looking back, earlier I was a little tough on Gina with that. If it was as chaotic as now I have come to find out in some of the blogs and things I've read, then I can certainly understand Gina stepping back a little bit. However, Travis is encouraging her that if they are going to work this out, she's going to have to stick in there through the tough times, and I agree. And they make the decision that they are going to start going to therapy as a couple. So there's that. All right, now, y'all, we're going to get ready for the tacky bridesmaid party. Now, is it just me, or did you guys realize that these ladies do not understand what tacky bridesmaid dresses are? The only two that seem to, well, I'm going to say really, the main two that seem to honestly get the memo, in my opinion, were Katie. She definitely had on a tacky bridesmaid dress. And Heather. Heather she understood the assignment. The rest of them, Emily is wearing her old wedding dress of 15 years ago. You've got Alexis in an off-the-shoulder ensemble that she could wear or would wear anywhere. I mean, there was nothing abnormal about that. Tamara, she had the poofy shoulders, but it was a short number. I mean, Shannon, her black and white. They weren't maybe not their best looks, but tacky. Now, Gina, Okay, I take it back. Gina looked tacky, but just crazy in that blue ensemble with them blue leggings underneath. Child, it was a hot mess. But anyway, nonetheless, the ladies are getting ready for the party. And so Katie, having a little fun in confessional, says some of the ladies have dresses in their closet from the 80s that are considered vintage. Y'all, and they do a flashback on everybody, honey. On Heather, Tamra, Emily, Shannon with their old school 80s vintage dresses. I have some from out, prom time. So I mean, I'm right there with you ladies. But she lets us know while they were doing that, she was a toddler learning her colors and her numbers, honey. Okay, Katie. So at this point, y'all, they are all starting to trickle into the party. We see Gina come in her very tacky blue. Heather tells Emily when she walked by Katie and Matt that they iced her out and really didn't say anything. Well, duh. Heather, you made it clear you don't like Katie. So what did you think Matt and Katie were going to open arms and embrace you? And no. And then it was so funny because in the same moment, back over with Matt and Katie, Matt was like, yo, that's the iciest, exchange that I've ever had. So more of the same. Katie and Heather don't like each other. Okay. So then Emily tells Heather that she is going to have a little conversation with Katie to address her, saying that her daughter Kylie told Tamra that Emily's twin boys said they didn't like Heather because she was mean to their mom. And Emily is over at the bar with Heather, contemplating on before she confronts Katie, how many cocktails should she have? And her and Heather agreed to do 3. Now, y'all, listen, Emily was lit at that party, okay? Now, Shannon has had to endure every time she's uttered the words Belvedere and soda, child. The camera would pan to her. Everybody would whisper or sneer. Tamara would have her moments, but child, them espresso martinis were probably one of the housewives this season. I mean, them girls kept one handy. Emily had one too many. Emily was turned at this party, y'all. She really was. And my thing is, not to say, I mean, because just because you get turned at a party, I'm not saying you have a drinking problem. No, by no means am I saying that. But what I'm saying is, for a season where it's just been such a huge topic of discussion, it's kind of hypocritically ironic that Emily, she was tore up at the party, y'all. She really was. So there's that. All right. So anyway, at this point, Jen's dad, Katie gets to meet him. Her dad, Bob, is there. Ryan's bestie, Matt or Matthew, the bookie, is there. Tamara then arrives with Eddie in tow, and we get a chance to see Joe. Joe from back in the day, from the original OC, Joe De La Rosa Gray. She's married now, and she makes a comeback. Now, I've seen people ask, would you like to see Joe back? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, she's Alexis's friend, and we are all hoping and praying she's not coming back. Y'all, I saw something out there, and I don't know if it's been necessarily confirmed, but I read that Alexis has been asked to not come back or has not been renewed to come back. So perhaps our prayers have been answered after all, guys. We'll have to wait and see, but that's the word on the street. And I just don't think that, no, I don't think we need Joe back. I think that the whole point, even the fact that they have not asked Vicky back full time, I think what they're trying to do is go in a different direction. I'd like to see Vicky come back, but if not, then I think Tamara should go as well. And that is my stance. And y'all, we're going to see, Tamara's trying to dial it back now. I've even heard that there's a reconciliation at the reunion. Child, I hope not. I hope Shannon is not that crazy. Look, I'm all about forgiveness, but I hope that what I've read or I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook and Instagram, and we do a lot of chatting about the shows and what have you. Some of the consensus say that that's what has leaked out, but we'll have to watch it and see. I hope not. I hope Shannon doesn't let her off the hook that easy. I mean, she was absolutely horrible to that woman. And ain't no storyline or I mean worth that. The way that she trashed her, the way that she just gave the woman literally no peace. I mean, every scene that they were in, if she wasn't calling her an alcoholic, she was screaming at her, calling her a liar. Y'all, it was tough to watch. And quite frankly, I hope she's earned herself right off that show. I do. I'm sick of looking at her. It's kind of like back when Rena had gotten so out of hand with the own it, and the low blows and the exposing people and it just got so vile that by the time Rena was asked to not come back to Beverly Hills, I was totally here for it. And it's the same with Tamara. When she got let go last time or paused or whatever it was, I never thought they should bring her back. And she's only been back, what, a couple of seasons, and look where we're at. It's time to let her go. Those that those that feel like they have to go through those links, like her, even like Kenya on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She, is on pause because of her antics. Y'all, when it gets that nasty, that toxic, and that vile, I think they need to sit out. If it can't be organic drama, if it can't be the kind of drama where, certainly whenever you put a group of women together, you're going to have some disagreements and some are going to not like each other. But the lengths that these women go to take each other down for a storyline, I'm not here for it. But I digress. So let's get back to the episode, y'all. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent, but I am ready for Tamara to go. Y'all wait on the comments and let me know. Are you there with me? Goodbye, Tamara. Hashtag bye, girl. And anyway, so Joe makes her appearance, and then we see Tamara come with Eddie. Katie hugs Tamara and says things are weird between Tamara and Jen, but she's glad that Tamara has come. And then Vicky and Shannon arrive, and Vicky's happy to see Joe because they were the part of the OG group. So, and then Emily greets Vicky. Y'all, have y'all noticed Emily just fangirls over Vicky Gumbelson? She calls her Victoria Gumbelson. I don't know. I don't get it. Vicky's never seemed to really embrace or really like Emily that much. But Emily just seems to completely fangirl out over Vicky. Go figure. Child, but remember now, by this time, she's turned anyway. So I'm thinking she's just passing on love to anybody. So there's that. Tamara noticed that Vicky does not greet her and says, I guess Vicky's not talking to me. She ain't. Shaw ain't. She doesn't want to talk to you. Jen and Ryan arrive. And y'all, Ryan understood the assignment, honey, because Jen was doing maybe Malibu Barbie Bride. And Ryan was giving tacky to the max in his purple Barney suit. Yeah. We find out later in the episode he got that from Amazon, child. And it was giving tacky. So where some of the wives didn't get the assignment, Ryan fully understood the assignment. So then, y'all, Jen in confessional says that this is so surreal that she's now at her engagement party. And if someone had told her that 3.5 years ago that she'd be here, she'd say no way. She's very grateful and she's just so in love with Ryan. So she's just so happy about the event. We come to find out, y'all, that Ryan and Joe know each other. They embrace, and Joe used to work for Ryan when she was 23 years old. And so there's a past there. They were on Watch What Happens Live, and it kind of comes up. They asked, did he ever date Joe? He did not. She, in fact, did work for him. And then we find out that it was Joe that introduced Ryan to his bestie, Matt or Matthew, that ends up getting in this legal trouble. So at this point, some of the ladies head to the bar, but Tamara lets Gina know that she is not drinking tonight, and she thinks that's for the best. And she basically alludes to the fact that, the drinking has gotten her where she's at. They flash back to Katie's party because we all know Tamara was also lit that night, that Eddie wanted her cut off. And that was the whole night where her and Ryan got into it. The whole little bee night where it was little bees everywhere. Ryan was little bee. He was such a little bee. Oh my gosh, you're such a little bee. Yeah, that night. So then Jen walks over to Vicky and Shannon because they are off to the side, honey, minding their biz. They do not want to intermingle, and I can't say I blame them. She says that she just hasn't seen most of the people since she walked out and got back from London. So Shannon is kind of pulling back a little bit. And Jen asks Shannon if she's talked to Tamara, and she's like, no. And then Jen tells Vicky that she's also done with Tamara. And so over with Tamara, there's Gina, and she tells Tamara her fight with Shannon is messing up things. Or Tamara tells Gina that her fight with Shannon is messing up her friendship with Jen. Y'all, I thought that was rich. So Tamara believes that it was Shannon that caused her rift in the friendship with Jen. Not all the times that she has put Ryan down, put rumors out there about Ryan, talked about her, thrown a napkin in her face, that big little B situation at Katie's. And yes, I will say the text that Shannon showed her may have been the icing on the cake. I don't know, that set her off, but she had done plenty already to set Jen off or to make Jen not want to be her friend. I think that was just, the final straw. But for her to honestly believe that her and Jen were not in a good place because of Shannon, it just goes to show y'all that this one is delusional. And we hear the word narcissist being thrown out a lot in regards to Tamara. I'm going to say that's pretty spot on. If you guys ever Google, what is entailed in a narcissist personality, read it and think about what you've seen in Miss Tamara. Just saying. So in confessional, Gina says Tamara is the kind of person where it's not good enough for Tamara to burn down the bridge. She's going to burn down the entire town. She's going to annihilate you for all your behaviors, but let's never talk about mine. And Gina also says it's like a narcissistic type of behavior. So see, there's that word again. And for once, I agree with you, Gina. Like I said, Gina lost points with me this season, but then started to slowly bring herself back around because I did not like how she threw Katie under the bus. She started to pick up and earn points back with the way that she has come to Shannon's aid and the way that she's been a truth teller in, people's behavior. She's called some stuff out. And okay, so I see you, Gina. You're back because I was worried about you in the beginning of the season. You were giving with the whole real estate thing, like you thought you were better, and I did not like the way that she treated Jen, but she has since redeemed herself some. So I'm back with you, Gina. We're here. So Tamara says that she understood that, and she apologizes for that as far as her part in what was said about Gina and Matt, because Gina said that she felt like collateral damage in the mess that was going on between Shannon and Tamara. And Tamara acknowledged and did apologize. And so back over with Shannon and Vicky. Jen tells them that she should move around because it is her party after all. And Shannon makes mention, leave it to Alexis to throw a chic party with no food, y'all. So they had all those drinks. No wonder Emily was so turned, because I mean, they had cocktails flowing with the whole Malibu. They had the espresso martinis, champagne going. No food. So no wonder. So back over at Emily and Heather, we see Emily kiss Shane, child. Then Heather kisses Terry. Then plants one on Eddie. I think Heather was a little turned too. Did y'all see that? I mean, not a peck. I mean, she right on the lips, y'all. Anyway, child. Emily notices and she decides that she needs to go on and do the same and give Eddie a kiss, but she offers Eddie her cheek. Does the same with Terry. And then they go on off. And Terry says that that 3 espresso limit has been, reached, and he wants them to cut it off. And Emily like, no, we're fine. Like I said, honey, she is turned. So then we check in with Ryan, and we find out that him and his Barney suit, it came from Amazon, and Ryan is talking with his guy friends and reminds Matt that they met through Joe. And Matt says, y'all, he comes right out and says that Ryan is his money launderer. And we find out later in the episode that was cringe. So back at the table with Emily, Heather, Katie, and Alexis, Emily wants to confront Katie about the whole thing with her daughter Kylie, mentioning that the boy said something about Heather. And so she said that, you remember the night that Kylie stayed with the boys? And Katie's like, yeah. She's like, well, she did an amazing job. But she said then when Kylie left, her boys looked at her and said, Mom, is Heather mean? And Kylie said that Heather's mean. And so Katie looks surprised and says, now can I tell you what she told me? And she was like, yeah. So they flash back to the scene where it's Katie, Tamara, and Kylie. And Kylie is telling Tamara when she went to babysit that she said that her mom was friends with their mom. And she asked the boys if they knew any of her mom's friends or if they'd met a lot of her mom's friends. And they said, yeah, but we don't really like Heather. She's mean to our mom. And then Emily says, okay, let me take that back. My boys are 9 and they have no idea who Heather is. Y'all, weigh in the comments, because first of all, who do y'all believe? You believe Emily? Do you believe Katie? Okay, so my thoughts, if her 9-year-old son, one of which was the one that says when she was like, well, what should I bring to this housewarming, or to the, not housewarming, but this is dinner that Katie was throwing, and he says pot. These are not 9-year-olds that they talk in code around. So I'm quite sure that in times that her and Heather have had their things, and they have, that those boys were fully aware. Now, I don't think Kylie made it up. I think that Kylie baited them, but I don't think she made it up. What do y'all think? Slide in the comments and let me know what you thought. So Emily says, okay, so she says, but they go back to the scene where she's telling Tamara that she babysit, and they said that that she asked them if they'd met a lot of their mom's friends, and they said, yeah, but they didn't like Heather because Heather was mean. So when Emily dials back and says the boys are 9 and they don't know who Heather is. And Katie says, well, I need to talk to Kylie then, because that's what she told me. And if that's a lie, we need to address it. Well, honey, Emily comes in and says, oh, I'm not saying she lied. Okay, if you're not saying she lied, Emily, what are you saying? But she says, the issue is then that she went and told Tamara. And Katie said, no. She said the issue is then you went and told Tamara. And she said, no, I didn't tell Tamara. Kylie told Tamara. And in confessional, Katie says, with Kylie being older, she can talk to her about more adult things, like she wouldn't talk to her little boy about Bandon. And y'all, was it not a shady moment when the producers went back and you hear Bandon saying, is Heather being a jerk again, like for the millionth time? Y'all, let's be clear. Well, my kids are all grown now, but when they were small, you talk. I mean, I know I did. I mean, like not like things that are completely inappropriate, but if somebody's on my nerves or I'm not feeling somebody, my kids knew. They were fully aware. So y'all stop. Yeah, we do that. So Heather says that. So at this point, Katie says it was a mother-daughter moment and they were giggling. And Heather says, giggling about the fact that I'm me. And Katie's like, yeah. Heather says she's done and goes to walk. And Katie says, well, be done. Child, let me tell you something. One thing I like about Katie, and I like Katie. I'm wanting Katie to come back. I think that she solidified herself as a housewife. I like that she's not scared of Heather, y'all. She's not. I mean, for her, she can take or leave it. You know how you have Emily and Gina squirming around trying to make sure they stay in Heather's good graces, and Katie don't care. And I have to say, it's refreshing to watch. I love it. I love it. So Heather comes back, and Tamara's now in the frame. She's over here at the table too, and she says, done with all her lies. She says she's done with all her lies and her coming after her and all of her nonsense. And Katie says, all my coming after you? And she's like, yes. And Katie laughs, and Heather's like, go ahead and laugh. And she says, I laugh when people are being ridiculous. And Heather says, well, why do you think it's so funny? Katie says, because you're always putting your nails in my face and shutting me up, and I'm over it. And Heather says, because you're boring and you lie. And Katie says she's not lying about it. She's like, you're the one that lied. You swore on your kids and lied. Yo, why did she say that, honey? Because Heather was not here for that. She was mad. Did y'all see how Heather slit those eyes up? She was not having it. Heather says, that was BS, and how dare you? She said that she was so evil, but you're so bad at it. And Katie gave her, y'all, the biggest eye roll. Like I said, honey, Katie did not care. And like I said, I'm here for it. She's not going to kiss Heather's butt. If they don't get along, Katie's like, oh well. And I think that's what really bothers Heather so much about Katie, that Katie doesn't care, that Katie's not a kiss the ring type, that Katie's like, and I'm good. I got my little mansion over here too. I'm good. I'm just as OC as you, boo. And what? Don't care. So Emily said she wanted Katie to understand the implication that she was a bad parent and how it jeopardizes her relationship with Heather, who was her good friend. Katie's at this point, she's over it. She's like, okay, honey, I'm sorry. I think she just wanted to be done with it. So Heather in confessional says she has no idea when Katie's thought processes and all this. And Emily makes notice that she took her gloves off. And Heather continues in the confessional saying that the fact that she would bring that conversation to the group was so distasteful that it's beyond. And then Katie was like, I need to have a talk with Kylie. And Alexa says, she doesn't think she was lying. Katie agrees. And so do I. I don't think Kylie was lying either, y'all. I think, like I said, do I think she may have broached the conversation, maybe kind of dug it up a little bit? I think the boys, in fact, said that, though. So, own it, Emily. I mean, Heather has not always been nice to you, and so what? I'm sure you've said it around them. And like I said, 9 is not a baby. 9 is old enough to know if your mama doesn't like somebody. 9-year-olds are grown, honey. They'll talk, okay? So at this point, Turnt Emily yells for Jen because she wants to set up Tamara and Jen having their talk. So Tamara approaches Jen and gives her a hug. Y'all, you can tell Jen's kind of like, I wish I was invisible because I do not want to be talking to her right now. At any rate, She approaches, and Tamara comes in and tells her that she's so happy for her, but she's bummed that they didn't get a chance to have their talk the other day. And Jen says, well, she doesn't want to keep rehashing things. And Jen says that's the problem that she keeps having. Like, they keep going over the same stuff, and it's like nothing changes. And Tamara says she knows, but she wanted her to understand that there was more to that than what Shannon showed her. And she said she had all the texts and she wanted to show them to her so she could understand better. And Shannon brought that up to get in between them. Like I said, Tamara, you tried it. Tamara says, Jen, you shouldn't be mad at me. You should be thanking me. This is what she says in confessional. And one day you will. Go on, Tamara. Jen says Shannon can be all over that text thread. The difference is when Shannon apologizes, she believes her. And she says Shannon will try to make changes. She says she doesn't believe that with Tamara at all. I mean, y'all, we've been here. Tamara has done things before, apologized, said they're moving forward, and the chance she gets slams her again. So how can you blame? You can't blame Jen. Jen brings up what happened at Katie's and how she talked about Ryan and how she ran out yelling FBI. Tamara's like, yeah, by the way, a lot of the girls talk about Ryan, okay? Unnecessary. Deflection. She says she understands she went low at Katie's party and she apologized. She says she's sad because she thought they were doing good and thought they were making headway. And Jen says she feels like with Tamara, she talks through things, but then things go right back to the way they were. And that's why she's uncomfortable in the friendship. And Tamara's like, I'm not here to fight with you. So if you're going to raise your voice with me, which y'all, Jen did not raise her voice. Jen was just not saying simply what Tamara wanted to hear. And so she was like, I don't want to do this to you right now. And Jen said, okay. So if you want to leave, leave. Because at this point, she doesn't know where she's at with everything. And Tamara tucks her tail, y'all, and walks away. Good for you, Jen. Jen says she's so tired of being sad about Tamara and her friendship. And the truth of it is she's not a friend and Tamara is a lot of work. Or Tamara needs a lot of work. And I agree. So then Katie and Vicky talk. And Katie asks if she's talked to Tamara. And Vicky says no. And Vicky lets her know, look, I've evolved. Tamara is who she is. She says she's classless and her ego is bigger than the state of California. Agreed. Emily decides that they should do a group picture and goes screaming for Shannon. Y'all, turn Emily again. Shannon. Y'all, it was crazy. It was cringe. Emily needed to be cut off for real. But Shannon's at the bar with Katie, and she's mortified that Emily's screaming for her. But they all come together and pose for this photo. And after the photo, Gina makes it known that Tamara and Shannon are in the same place, but they haven't crossed paths. And Shannon says she wants everyone to understand that she has been doing nothing but working on herself and creating healthy boundaries. And that's why she left London, because she points at Tamara. You, my friend, blasted me for 4 freaking days in a row on a trip that I was so excited about. And she said, and that trip, she only had good and fun intentions for. So she said she's out and she's done. She says, when I'm done this time, I mean it. And that's creating healthy boundaries for myself. Then, y'all, she proceeds to walk away. And Emily keeps yelling for her. And Alexa says, have another drink, which was stupid. Alexis, go. Y'all, I'm sorry. I said I wasn't even going to bring her up, child. Anyway, she said it. And of course, Tamara laughs. Enough. So Tamara in confessional says, for the love of God, I didn't even have to say anything. And she just stormed off. Shannon storms the door. And she said, when things get tough, Shannon goes running. We're over that too. The Shannon storms the door. Okay. Shannon says to Eddie as she walks past him that, Tamara is something else. And y'all, the moment that we all are talking about, Shannon goes to the bar and she's calling for someone named Steve. And I'm not sure who Steve is. If y'all know, slide in the comments and let me know who is Steve. But instead, she walks up to Matt, Katie's husband, and proceeds to tell him that she's leaving. And he asks her what happened. And she tells him, I used to say all the time, I'm done. And then I'd come back. When I say I'm done now, I mean it. I'm done. He said, well, maybe it's time to walk away because I care about you and you've been kind to me. And y'all, before he could get another word out, she cuts him off and says, that angers me that you say that because you don't know me at all. I'm probably the strongest person here in this group. Matt says, and then why are you here with me right now? He said, you're telling me that you're melting down. And Shannon was like, are you trying to argue with me? Yo, that was so cringe. And Matt says, you're trying to argue with me. You're the one over here. I was standing here by myself. True that, Matt. Like, Shannon, really? Girl. She was like, okay, have a good night. And he was like, goodbye. Y'all, and she turns around and she's like, are you kidding me right now? In true Shannon form. Y'all, that was the dumbest. Listen, put in the comments because we're all talking about how stupid. Now, Shannon, I was rocking with you all season, but that was uncalled for and very silly. Matt was not bothering you. You came up to him. You came off as unhinged. And a glimpse of the old Shannon, we got to see her again, y'all. It was stupid. Y'all let me know what y'all thought. Poor Matt. Some people said he was aggressive with her. Do y'all think so? Because I think he was just completely caught off guard. He was minding his biz. We come to find out, honey, Matt was trying to stay out the way because he already knew the other Matt there was wanted by the FBI, child. He was trying to stay all the way out the way. So Shannon came up to him. He did not come up to Shannon. But Shannon's all in her feelings. So at this point, Tamara motions to Eddie for them to go. So they're getting ready to leave. And Emily goes to get Shannon. And Emily finds her and is bringing her back. And Shannon makes the comment like, I don't want your arms around me because it makes me look needy. And at this point, Tamara and Eddie duck out. Now, people are like, well, why was Shannon acting like that? And I honestly think, y'all, that at this point, Shannon is just at a heightened, like her senses are heightened. Like she's been confronted at every turn. And I just think she's just looking like somebody's going to say something to me. It's like that fight or flight thing. And she's done flying and she's standing up for herself. But I just think it was just misdirected to the wrong person. Matt wasn't trying to come for you, ma'am. Now, all these other ladies have been in their own way, even some of the ones that you think are your friends, to me, have not always acted as much of a friend as they should be. Outside of Gina has come to your rescue. Jen, Emily, not so much. I mean, sometimes it's standing up for you, but as far as in the moment, sometimes I don't think so. But you guys let me know what you think. I mean, who do you think, or were any of them actually real friends to Shannon? I feel like Jen was, and I feel like Gina came around too. And I think Emily, honey, depends on how the wind blows, child. So at this point, Shannon comes back and she's like, your husband, Matt, was really inappropriate with me. And Katie was like, well, what did he say? And she was like, he told me maybe it's time for me to walk away. And she goes, are you serious? And Katie's just confused. Y'all, that was stupid. So we're not going to spend any more time on that. Shannon, do better. That was dumb. Meanwhile, Johnny J is spotted pulling up in a black SUV. Emily goes up to Shannon to let her know that John Jansen just showed up. Y'all, that was the dumbest scene. Emily's drunk at this time. We already know that, but they keep, John Jansen's here, Shannon, John Jansen's here. And Shannon's like, I don't care. I don't care. Good for you, Shannon. That was so dumb, y'all. So at this point, because Johnny J is there, Alexis tells Jen and Ryan bye. She's making her goodbyes. And Shannon lets Emily and Gina know, honey, she didn't take my man. She took my problem. I know that's right, Shannon. Good for you. So at this point, Gina's trying to get Emily to hoist her up. She's trying to see Johnny Jansen over the wall. And Shannon and Katie are sitting there by the fireplace watching, laughing, and it's dumb. And Gina keeps going, John Jansen, Shannon, John Jansen. And Shannon's like, I don't care. That was dumb, y'all. And in confessional, Shannon says she's not going to have people like Tamara Judge, Alexis Bellino, John Jansen get her to a point that she's going to stoop to their level. She wants to go to bed at night knowing that she's doing the best she can. So this is how we start wrapping up the episode. And, they do the thing where they kind of freeze frame on each person, and you keep seeing the cringe Alexis and John Jansen hugging before they get in there and drive away. But we find out Shannon's girls continue to thrive in NYC and in Paris. And Shannon is slowly getting back into the dating game. And we will see her on that new show, y'all. With all the drama with her and the host, but we've been talking about that. We already talked about that. And at this point, the lawsuit, excuse me, y'all, my voice is going. The lawsuit is still unsettled. Then they have a cringe confessional with Johnny J saying, Shannon, she has absolutely created a narrative where out of one side of her mouth, she was saying, I've never loved someone more. But at the same time, she was, and Alexis butts in, harming you. And he says, getting intoxicated and saying things that were untrue to people. He says it's so unfortunate that it's come to this, but he just wants people to know not to believe those lies about him. Then we see Emily almost faceplant in the flower bed, and we find out in her freeze frame that Shane finally went to the doctor and everything is normal, but she's upped her life insurance on him. Okay, ha ha ha. And the twins have a new babysitter. Excuse me. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start drinking some hot tea, child, because this voice has got to be on point for the reunion special that's dropping on Friday. But bear with me as I get through this recap, y'all. Then we find out Tamara's daughter's gone to community college to study studio arts. And Heather tells Terry that Katie said she was, that she swore on her children and that she lied. And Terry says it's ridiculous. And then we find out her son, Nikki, broke the record for the highest sell in Long Beach, the home he sold. And though Terry's nose doesn't look like George Clooney, he doesn't snore anymore. Yeah, I won't say that nose. I didn't see it look that much different, guys. It didn't look like George Clooney for sure. Y'all slide in the comments. Tell me what you thought about that. Then we find out Katie hasn't traveled to South Korea yet, but she is planning to meet her birth mother this year, and Heather is not getting a souvenir. Okay. And then we see Shannon quirkily throw the bouquet. Gina catches it. We find out that Gina and Travis are still living apart, and they still share custody of their two dogs, Clover and Meatball, and that she's optimistic about their future as Matt gets closer to finalizing his divorce. At this point, Ryan thanks everybody for coming. Him and Jen tell everybody they love them. And then, y'all, 3 weeks later, we find out there's many articles flying around that Ryan is being accused of laundering money through casinos in Vegas. And we go to the scene with Jen and Ryan. Jen is really upset, and she says that she feels like it's a lot. It's just been a lot for her. And he basically placates her and tells her, look, that's life. Life is tough. It happens. And that he apologizes. And Jen is like, I'm about to be in the middle of a bloodbath with these ladies concerning all these accusations. And he's basically like, look, I don't care about that. Look, he was like, anyone in that friend group that thinks that maintains that he's in the bookie business, he is not. And Tamara says Jen is an idiot, and if she's going to marry this guy after finding this out. Emily says she's irresponsible and makes dumb decisions and is oblivious. And she had to, and that she had to have some idea. Gina says she's got to be blindsided because no one is that dumb. And Tamara meets up with Emily and says she's trying not to gloat, but she is very much gloating. Emily says she should gloat. That's why I'm telling you, Emily is a turncoat, y'all. I don't know. Tamara says her gut was right. She knew he was involved in something. But see, y'all, when she says that right there, that lets you know that her saying all this stuff about what he was doing, the FBI, this, that, and the third, that she really didn't know she was talking about, that she was repeating rumors. And she's like, but I had no idea it was this bad. Heather joins, Alexis joins them. Heather's like, WTF. And Alexis is like, she was short circuiting or short wiring. True that, ma'am. All that above. Short circuit, short wire. Your brain is not firing, honey. Very dumb. And Heather says that his friend Matt, she knew was a professional gambler. And Emily chimes in and says, nope, he's a bookie. Over at Katie's, her and Gina are talking, and Katie lets her know Matt was at the party. Matt meaning Ryan's friend, Matt. And Gina acts shocked. Katie was like, yep, that's why my Matt, her husband, was away from everybody in the back. Because he was like, at any minute, the party could be raided by the feds. So we hear Matt, Ryan's friend Matt, say, obviously, it's all over the news. And Terry says, you were involved with that? And asks, will you go to jail? And he says, I might. And he says, people I'm friends with, I'm not going to rat on. And then you see him say to Ryan, that's when he says, this is my money launderer. And y'all, that was not by mistake with the producers. They let that soundbite in because we do find out after all them coming together, the ladies come together and talk. I will talk about the scene where Katie and Gina talked to Jen because I found that really to be sad. They're there to support her because I'm not going to keep going with the other ladies. That's ridiculous. But, well, I will tell you that over back with the other group of girls, Emily does say that $16 million just happened to show up in Ryan's account. And he acts like he doesn't know where it came from. But Tamara puts on her FBI hat and she's just gloating, y'all. And it's disgusting. So we're going to go back over to the scene where Jen shows up at Katie's house and Gina tells Jen that she's in an unhealthy relationship. And Jen says, but what part of him is not good for me? And Gina tells her everything that's happening right now. I felt like in that moment, Gina was being a good friend. I love Jen, y'all. I do. I love how she's emerged, how she's found her voice. But in that scene, I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know how you feel. I felt like, well, she felt desperate. She felt crazy. I mean, that's a lot to take in. But she certainly knew about rumors. And y'all let me know what you think about Ryan. We do come to find out, because Gina and Katie both kind of let her know that her focus needs to be on her and her kids, that she really needs to remove herself from all of this mess. But they do seem genuinely concerned for her. And Jen is really upset. She says she just feels like she effed things up. And Gina says she feels like it's hard for Jen to come to terms with the fact that she blew her life up, that she left her husband and put her family through a lot for this man who isn't who he presented himself to be. Nonetheless, y'all, we do find out that Ryan was never accused of anything or charged of any wrongdoing and received full use immunity. And his friend Matthew Bowyer pled guilty and faces 18 years in federal prison. And that Jen and Ryan still plan to get married in 2025. So, the reunion part 1 will air Thursday night. You guys weigh in and let me know what you think. I think that Ryan is shady. I do think that he was involved. To what degree? I don't know. The immunity means, you saw where Matt said it. He was not going to tell on his friends. I believe he just fully took accountability for his part in things and left Ryan out of it. I don't know that that means Ryan was completely innocent. You guys weigh in and let me know what you thought. He maintains his innocence, and so allegedly, it, he's absolved of it all. So they're moving forward. Jen was on Watch What Happens Live on Thursday night. They're moving forward with wedding planning, and they're talking about getting married in the Bahamas. Y'all let me know what you think. We come to find out in some clips for the reunion that he has sent a cease and desist letter to Tamara. So listen, whatever is whatever. I mean, he's free and clear, and he maintains it. So what can you say? And quite frankly, if Tamara keeps on, she just may find herself in that lawsuit. I don't know that he's fully gone forward with it, but cease and desist is the first step. So there's that. So you guys, that's how the episode ended. I mean, like I said, I think it was a strong 8 for the season. I enjoyed it. You guys let me know if you enjoyed it. Y'all, forgive my voice. I will be in full voice for Thursday, so need you not worry. She will be drinking tea honey with lemon, okay? Because I'm going to have a lot to say about this reunion. So you guys come on back. We're supposed to be back on Wednesday doing 90 Day if my voice will allow. If not, Big Nige might be on, giving you guys a tea on what happened with 90 Day Fiancé the other way. And I will be joined on Friday for the recap special on the Thursday night episode, Reunion Part 1, with my Bravo bestie, Joseph Cervigliano. So you guys are going to want to come check that out. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, put your comments in and let me know what you thought about the season, the episode. Do you believe Ryan? Whose side are you on with Heather and Katie? The whole Emily, Katie thing, the little boys, did she say it? What? Y'all just let me know what you thought. Okay? I want to hear from you. All right, actualizers, fam, thank you so much. Again, if you're new, please do not leave without giving me a thumbs up and sliding in the comments and hitting that subscribe button and sharing with the masses. All right, guys, be blessed. Y'all have a good one. Bye.